Welcome to episode 8 of Halloween Babies Podcast. I am your host, Billy D, coming at you from Richmond, Virginia. On today's episode, I want to do a little non-spoiler review of a recent release, Out of Darkness, that is currently in theaters. And I figured since I was going to record this, I would go ahead and run through my letterbox on a few films that I've seen over the past month or two that I would recommend. So let's just get to it. First off, we have Monster from 2023 by Hirokazu Koreeda. It's a drama thriller, and it's 127 minutes. When her young son, Minato, starts to behave strangely, his mother feels that there is something wrong. Discovering that a teacher is responsible, she storms into the school demanding to know what is going on. But as the story unfolds through the eyes of mother, teacher, and child, the truth gradually emerges. So a single mother tries to understand why her young son begins to act strangely. And so it's told out of sequence and from different perspectives. The audience is led to believe that something sinister is going on. Like most situations in life, if you don't know the whole story, it becomes very unlikely that you will not only identify the true problem, but figure out how to properly address and solve it. When both the adults and the children lack the ability to verbalize what is going on inside themselves, defense mechanisms engage, and it becomes hard to determine the truth and who, if anyone, is the real monster. When all is said and done, this thriller is really just a slow-paced, poignant examination of love, understanding, and the beauty of acceptance. As I left the theater, I couldn't help but think how sometimes the people who seem to have all the power and assume they also have the answers really need to get down on their knees and scrape the goo and grime away in order to reveal the solidarity of the ground beneath their feet. I gave Monster on Letterboxd a 4 out of 5, and I left the theater. I do not believe that's on streaming as of yet. Next up is Poor Things. I highly recommend this one if you haven't seen it. It is a Yorgos Lanthimos film from 2023. It's listed as a comedy, drama, romance, sci-fi film, and it is 141 minutes. A kaleidoscope of absurdity and existential oddity about a young woman brought back to life by an eccentric and mad scientist. Bella Baxter leaves the confines of her home to travel and experience a world she has never known. Gifted with a fast-growing intellect, quick-witted, sharp tongue, and a voracious sexual appetite, Bella plays by her own rules as she navigates through a bizarre, colorful, and cruel patriarchal world full of delights, dilemmas, and all the while dismantling social norms with vigor, confidence, and gusto. Yorgos Lanthimos, with a screenplay by Tony McNamara based on the book by Alistair Gray, delivers a truly unique twist on the Frankenstein mythology and evokes a visual style reminiscent of the works of Terry Gilliam. Despite the 141-minute runtime, I found myself fully engaged and enthralled. This is highly recommended. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Next up is the controversial Saltburn. Yes, Saltburn by Emerald Fennell from 2023. It's a comedy, drama, thriller. It is 131 minutes long. Stylish, dark, and witty, Saltburn is about the desire for decadence and excess, obsession and contempt, power and beauty. Oliver Quick is a slight and unassuming student at Oxford who yearns pines for the life of a fellow student, Felix Catton, a handsome and popular aristocrat who invites Oliver to frolic and lounge at his massively palatial estate for the summer. Things are all fun and games until truths and intentions are revealed. Darkly comedic at times and perversely gratuitous at others, the cinematography is gorgeous and the sets and locations are overwhelmingly cavernous and full of shadows and subterfuge. All the performances are top-notch, but it's Barry Keoghan who steals the show as Oliver. Keoghan, who looks like a young Joel Edgerton, but has the eccentric energy and presence that creeps into Crispin Glover territory, as he shows us just about every side of himself. Saltburn may run a bit long for some and give too much away for others, but this comedy drama thriller had me captivated. There's quite a few scenes that people were talking about over here, and they were quite good. I don't think they were as shocking. I've done at least 3 of the things that he did in this movie, so take with that what you will. I am a freak. Saltburn is currently available on Prime. Next up is Appendage from 2023 by Anna Slockovic. It is a drama horror, and it runs 94 minutes long. After hitting a breaking point, Hannah's inner thoughts physicalize into a monstrous creature that threatens to upend her life. Once you accept the setup and the campy tone, it actually goes a little deeper than you would expect. Fans of Basket Case and Malignant might enjoy this one. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and it is available on Hulu. Next up is Trunk, Locked In from 2024, directed by Mark Geiver. Is a drama thriller and runs 96 minutes long. Melina was about to embark on a long holiday with her boyfriend, but she has now woken up bleeding, disoriented, and unable to move her legs. She finds herself inside the trunk of a car with only a cell phone and her wits to save her. With the premise similar to 2010's Buried and camera movements and lighting that equally explore the limited environment, we do get a handful of scenes from outside the vehicle as we are introduced to a handful of other characters. The story does become predictable at times, but the lead performance by Sina Martins is strong and captivating, and the cinematography is lush, creative, and surprisingly beautiful considering the circumstances. Will Melina meet her end, or will she find the strength and confidence growing inside of her to persevere and escape? For a 96-minute film, it does feel like it drags at times, and the title seems like something from the bargain bin. But for fans of single-location thrillers, this German-English language film from Mark Schreiber is a must-watch. It is available on Prime. Next up is a dark one, I tell you. This is The Zone of Interest from 2023, directed by Jonathan Glazer. It's a drama history war film, and it runs 105 minutes. The commandant of Auschwitz, Rudolf Höss, and his wife Hedwig strive to build a dream life for their family in a house and garden next to the camp. This is where the monsters live. As they go about the banalities of their morning routines, the echoes of pain, torture, and torment that they have inflicted permeate the air, burrow into the soil, and fertilize the earth. Can we truly enjoy the smell of the flowers over the scorch of burnt flesh? Can we dance to the melodies of a singing bird or sway in the breeze on the edge of a babbling brook as we try to block out the gunshots and screams for mercy? If it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, it's because it's true. We start in darkness, we end in darkness, and in between, sometimes we do nothing. Damn. This is a powerful yet slight film, and I caught it in the theater. It should be hitting streaming shortly. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Next up is The Novice from 2021 by Lauren Hadaway. It's a drama sport film, and it runs 97 minutes long. Give me a story I have no interest in and captivate me. That's exactly what Lauren Hadaway has done with her feature film debut that vibrates with style, urgency, and an energy that overwhelms. Isabelle Fuhrman is outstanding as Alex, a college freshman who joins the rowing team as a novice whose ability to obsess over a goal and become so hyper-focused that it becomes detrimental to all her relationships and her mental health. The tension behind her eyes is intimidating and scary, and her physicality is exhausting and makes you question her ability to survive. This is not a film about grace, subtlety, or finesse. It's about drive, immediacy, and unbridled ambition, and it shows. I gave The Novice a 3.5 out of 5, and it is available on Netflix. Next up is Eileen from 2023, directed by William Oldroyd. It's a drama mystery thriller that runs 97 minutes. This Hitchcockian period piece noir thriller, complete with a femme fatale and Chekhov's gun, follows Thomasin McKenzie as the titular Eileen, who befriends the new psychiatrist Rebecca, played deliciously and devilish by Anne Hathaway, at the prison facility where they both work. Eileen is meek and timid and goes about her mundane days fantasizing about sex and violence while also taking care of her alcoholic father, played by Shea Whigham. When she meets Rebecca, the beautiful doctor who presents as a paradigm of modern female autonomy, Eileen becomes enraptured. Things take a surprising turn in the third act as a mother of one of the inmates, played by the ever-impressive Marin Ireland, reveals a shocking and disturbing truth. This is the dark horse sleeper hit I was hoping for from last year. Too bad I missed it in its short run at the theater, but I highly recommend this one. This is a 4.5 out of 5. And it is available on Prime for $5.99. Next up is Aramentari, The Blacksmith and the Devil. And this is a shout out to Mr. Watson for recommending this film. I believe they are going to be covering this on the next Horror Movie Weekly. Aramentari is directed by Paul Urcujo Alijo. It is a 2018 film, and it's listed as a fantasy horror. I apologize, Paul, for mispronouncing the latter half of your name. My condolences to your name, sir. Rest in peace. Set in Basque Country, Spain, 1843, a police constable arrives at a small village in Alava to investigate a mysterious blacksmith who lives alone deep in the woods. This is a surprisingly entertaining fantasy folk horror period piece based on a Basque version of The Smith and the Devil. The tone and the atmosphere are dark and dreamy, with some pretty impressive costuming effects and set designs that are reminiscent of Ridley Scott's Legend and the works of Guillermo del Toro, with just a little more levity sprinkled in. All the performances are strong, and the story moves at a brisk pace with a few nice surprises. Some slight graphic violence, but not much gore. This could be an excellent entry-level film into the fantasy horror subgenre because it plays like a fairy tale that focuses on a young girl while also touching on themes of religion, sacrifice, loss and regret, and delivers the darkness but still finds a way to be playful. Aramentari, The Blacksmith and the Devil is currently on Netflix. Next up is something I was able to catch in the theater a few weeks ago. It is ISS, and it's from 2024, directed by Gabriella Copperthwaite. It's a sci-fi thriller, and it's 95 minutes long. 3 Russians and 3 Americans square off against each other on a space station when a possible war breaks out on Earth in this sci-fi thriller. The images of Earth are quite breathtaking, and the musical score drives attention as the performances sell the paranoia, while the cinematography glides through the ISS and does its best to frame a few powerful allegorical scenes. The weakness for me lies in the writing, as it's a bit dry and clunky at times, and as it provides the build-up, it doesn't quite feel like it earns the reward of an epic end of the world space movie. For a January dump month theater release, it's not that bad, but it's no Underwater from 2020. I'm a big fan of that one. But ISS has a good cast, solid directing, but nothing too exceptional. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. Last up before we get to the main event is a little gem that I believe I found on Tubi called Loop Track from 2023. It's directed by Thomas Sansbury. It's listed as a thriller, but I would definitely throw this into the horror category. It's 94 minutes long. And a nervous man goes on a hiking trip in the New Zealand wilderness and tries to avoid people despite having to share the trails and shelters with others. Is he nervous for nefarious reasons? Is he sensing something dangerous, or is he just losing it? If you can avoid the trailers and posters, I promise you will be surprised by the reveal. It takes a while to get there, but writer, director, and lead Thomas Sansbury does an excellent job, especially as their neurotic Ian trying to avoid the world and the unknown. Like I said, I caught this on Tubi, but it's also available on Prime for $3.99. But why would you do that if it's available on Tubi? Out of Darkness was released on February 9th, 2024. It's directed by Andrew Cumming, written by Ruth Greenberg, with a story by Andrew Cumming and Oliver Kassman. It's listed as a horror thriller with a runtime of 87 minutes, and the tagline is "The Dawn of Man, the Birth of Fear." 45,000 years ago, a group of 6 early humans arrived by boat to a new land looking to start a new life, but life is hard, bleak, dark, and unforgiving. With no food or shelter and one of them pregnant and weak, they soon realize something is after them. Filmed in Scotland and the UK, the cinematography relies on natural light to deliver sweeping, vast landscapes with gorgeous mountains and hillsides looming on the horizon during the day, and a nearly black screen at night, only lit by a small campfire, flashes of lightning from an oncoming storm, and even the fantastical beauty of the northern lights. The score by Adam Jonatozowski, who also scored 2021's Saint Maud, is thunderous, tribal, rhythmic, and ominous as it ripples and reverberates. While the group are seemingly being picked off one by one, they traverse through the forest and deep into caves as they try to evade and defend against the screeching entity that lurks in the trees, the mist, and the darkness. The performances are strong and the dialogue is sparse, to the point, and delivered via a language based on Basque. So yes, there are subtitles. Are the actors a little too beautiful with nice teeth and short hair? Yes, but it didn't bother me. You know what else didn't bother me? The abundance of darkness on screen. First off, it's in the title. Secondly, when we do get images that fill the entire screen, they are gorgeously crafted and intimidating and vast. From the opening, we get a classic campfire story scene that delivers the exposition in a simple yet believable way, and we quickly get to realize time is of the essence and morale is getting low and starting to crack at the seams. The standout role of Bea, the outcast of the group, played by Sadie Oakley Green, who not only has just become a woman and is informed she is ripe for the role of concubine, but has something burning behind her eyes, a drive, a resilience, and a will to fight and survive. Some may take issue with the reveal of the entity, but it is done in a slow and teasing way that involves no CGI and helps build on the ever-increasing tension and dread. Overall, I think Andrew Cumming has delivered an effective and solid prehistoric survival horror thriller that keeps us afraid of the dark and looking for the light as we realize our lives aren't that bad, at least not compared to post-Neanderthal planet Earth. As you can tell, I rather enjoyed this one, but I realize it's going to fall flat for a lot of horror fans. If mood and atmosphere aren't the primary aesthetics you find enough to keep you captivated, this might not be for you. There's some gore and some brutal visceral images, and at 87 minutes, you can't complain about the runtime. But with all the darkness and the simple plot, pacing could be an issue for some. What I really enjoyed about this film was the use of light and shadow that helped guide the viewer's imagination to create their own version of what might be lurking in the dark. Like I said, some people are going to be disappointed in the reveal. It's not the Predator. It's not the creature from David Bruckner's amazing 2018 film, The Ritual. It's nothing that's going to blow your mind, but that's not what this film is about. It's about uncertainty. It's about the hubris of man and the power that lies in women as they are the mother of nations. It's an origin story, but take from it what you will. All in all, I was quite impressed with Out of Darkness, especially for being a feature film debut from Andrew Cumming. The cinematographer Ben Fordsman and composer Adam Yonata Zalski, both of whom worked on 2021's Saint Maud, did an excellent job, and hopefully they will work with Andrew again. I would give this film a 3.5, pushing a 4 out of 5, and I highly recommend it. On a side note, Out of Darkness was filmed in the same areas as another prehistoric adventure drama from 1981, Jean-Jacques Annaud's Quest for Fire, that featured Everett McGill, Ron Perlman, and a young Ray Dawn Chong. That brings episode 8 of Halloween Babies podcast to a close. I am Billy D, and thank you all for listening, and please rate and review this podcast. You can contact me on Instagram at Halloween Babies Podcast or via email at HalloweenBabiesPodcast@gmail.com. I hope everyone out there is staying safe and staying scared. Stay scared.